Hi. A hug? Dinky toe. So if you're watching currently on YouTube, I think it's just me currently on YouTube. I think most people are on Facebook. You're upside down on YouTube for no apparent reason. So we're going to fix that. All right, I'm going to say we're good. I'm going to say we're good. Oh, it's ridiculous. All right. There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the subject matter. I'm your host, Stephen Jenkins, here with your co-host, Mr. Jonathan Dayton. We are experts in nothing, here to give you our thoughts and opinions on all of it. So, last time we did a live, Jonathan, I had this whole setup.
You did.
And, it was super fancy, and we had a nice camera. And then I was like, you know what? I don't know how to do this very well, because going live is way more complicated than it needs to be. And so I said, we're just going to go basic, and this is basic. We have no internet connection, no proper internet connection, that is, at our studio, so we said we're going to film it at my apartment. So that's what we're doing, and I'm trying to not watch down here. If you are live, I'm going to try and be checking the comments here, but if you are live, please let us know if you can hear us. I'm not sure. We're live streaming from my phone, so I don't actually have the capability. I'm going to log in to Facebook because my tablet's dumb. But I don't actually have the capability to check. So we're going to see.
Yes.
Okay, we can be heard. We can be heard, supposedly.
Sounds great. Dale says it sounds great.
Well, if Dale says it, then that's great. So welcome to our, technically it's the season finale of season 4.
It is the season finale.
The official season finale. We said we were going to do a live.
We did.
And then it was like 3 months after that we finally did it. But we are here now. So we're finishing up season 4. Jonathan, and by the way, if you are watching, please send us questions. We'd love to hear what you think we need to answer.
Christine also says it sounds good.
If Christine says it's good, Rachel Beachy on YouTube says it's good, so that means we're firing on all cylinders.
There's a question for the best blooper moment.
The best blooper moment is one we can't show. the best blooper moment involved Aiden Sensible.
Yes, that was a very good moment.
Well, we can't talk about that one. I'm trying to think. What do you? Any of them springing to mind?
We've had so many issues. Hi, I mean,
We do have a special guest tonight. Ember is being very patient, waiting for us to set this up. So if Ember wants to join, you're more than welcome. Do you want to join? No? She said
no.
No, not going to happen. There have been a lot.
There's also a question that says, when will Ember be on again?
Well, she heard you.
And there's like a lag on Facebook, so like
there's a lag on. There's a lag on.
So, but she's present.
But we'll be getting your questions. So, as far as the first question that we have, and who's this question from, by the way?
Addie asked that question.
Addie. Okay, Addie asked the question. Addie has only had a few bloopers, believe it or not, because anything funny she says, we just leave in the episode. I think for me, every single blooper from the April Fool's Day episode.
That was funny. April Fool's Day episode was one of the funniest episodes that I think we've ever filmed. And we filmed a lot now. I think that every time we've had a thank you, Ember. We've had a lot of setup challenges that people won't see. We've also had a lot of things that our bloopers are cut and never shown. And
Correct.
I can't remember all of them, but
There are some times that, you have, I think we actually might have answered this question last live too, but we have questions that are jokes among friends. Inside things, or just things that like aren't bad, but you wouldn't get up on a podium and say in front of a large group of people. And so we're not going to post it on YouTube. Hi. Thank you.
And to answer your question,
Nerds.
folks, Ember is on right now.
On the live. She is right here.
She is right here.
She is never too far.
Never too far. And then the other question is, what's your dream guest? That's a really good question.
I'm going to let you take this one because I
The
feel like
Rock.
you thought about this one. The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
That would get us some clout for sure.
I think that would be so cool.
Absolutely. I feel like that water bottle's about to be just gone. It's fine. I got new carpet, in case you didn't know.
I did see that. I was going to comment, but
yeah.
I did not comment.
So
The Rock would be my dream guest.
The Dwayne The Rock. You're talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock.
Dwayne. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I think anybody. I feel like it has to be somebody. Thank you. Or nope, that one's for you. I feel like it has to be somebody who has never been on a podcast. Like who you would like. Wait, that person was on a podcast. Like somebody extremely controversial, and not in like the same sense as like a U.S. political figure, because they do podcasts and talk shows all the time. I'm talking like, I don't know, like some dictator of some other country, just like, because everybody would watch that and nobody would be for them, but everybody would watch it, including like some people see a face of an American political figure and then I'm not watching that. If you're a Republican, you see a Democrat, I'm not watching that. If you're a Democrat, you see a Republican on a podcast, I'm not watching that. But if you see like the most like heinous person in existence on a podcast, you're watching that, no matter who you are.
That's true. The other question was what podcast would you like to be on other than the Mike Rowe podcast? 'Cause I was going to say, another guest would be Mike Rowe.
So we'll answer that question in a second, but let's talk about that. You, Jonathan, were on a podcast recently that has a few more subscribers than we do.
Just a couple.
Just a few. So tell us about that.
So it was a fun experience. So,
if you can't hear all this, you're missing out.
So a year ago, I was asked if I would consider being on a podcast to do kind of recruitment for firefighting and EMS. And I said, sure. And Mike Rowe had reached out to an organization and indicated that he would like to help with recruitment. And the way that he wanted to do that was to just highlight them on his podcast. His podcast is quite large, much larger than ours.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did send in my bio, my resume, and a few other things, answered some questions with their team, and they ended up choosing me and another individual to be on the podcast. They wanted 2 guests. So months and months went by, nothing happened. We asked for updates, and obviously their team was working on it, etc. Finally, about a year later, we scheduled a time to be on the podcast, and we set it all up and recorded it, and it actually turned out really good. There was 2 episodes. Both myself and another individual were guests, and the episodes were like back-to-back episodes, and I think it went really well. It got a lot of comments, a lot of reach, thousands of comments, and actually had someone reach out to me. Hi, Emmy. Appreciate that. Literally had someone reach out to me yesterday and said that I did an excellent job on the podcast, and they're actually becoming a volunteer firefighter.
Awesome.
So I do get random messages occasionally from folks that had seen the podcast and it inspired them to become a volunteer firefighter or EMT. So that's pretty cool. So
I mean, that's awesome. And I'm going to point with this remote that I've been gifted. But yeah, that's really great. And so if you're on Facebook and you're experiencing
turbulence,
turbulence, well, there's a child, and Category Ember has.
And Mike was the coolest interview host of a podcast that I've ever met.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was super awesome. And there was lots of blunders behind the scenes there too, because there was Wi-Fi issues and upload issues and change of locations, among a trillion other things.
So yeah, just a small little tidbit of that story was, I walked in because you were in our podcast studio.
I was. That's not where I started.
No, I walked in about like halfway through you recording the episode, and I was like, oh, Jonathan's in here. I had enough sense to not like call out and say, hey, what's up? Which I'm glad I didn't. And then I was basically just in my office working on stuff while you were recording the episode. But that there told us we can't do a live stream because you were having some trouble uploading afterward, right?
Oh, yes, it was challenging. It was actually scary because I thought I had lost the entire episod.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And it ended up did upload correctly to the cloud where it needed to go, and all was good. But yeah, that was an interesting filming of a podcast.
Yeah. Well, very good. So to answer your question, who asked that question?
The question was asked.
Facebook is getting a great show
by your mom.
Okay, so what podcast would we like to be on besides Micro? Is it still live on Facebook? Are we still good?
She's got the views going.
Okay, good. So yeah, I don't know. What about let's start with you, because you actually watch a lot more podcasts than I do.
Truthfully, I don't watch like full episodes of podcasts. I'll watch like tidbits of certain podcasts. That's a really good question. There's a couple of firefighting podcasts that are kind of becoming more relevant now, talking about like your experiences. I don't know the names. I'm sorry, but that would be cool. I was on a murder podcast not too long ago, a couple of years ago. That was kind of a neat opportunity.
Cool.
I don't really have one that I'm like aspiring to be on because I don't have one that I listen to regularly.
Sure. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, a couple of them. There's a comedian that I watch, Tim Hawkins. He has a podcast.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be fun to be on. I like the ones that are sort of like ours in that it's just a lot of conversation and just like riffing with friends. I think it'd be interesting to be on one of those with people who aren't your friends and see if you can improv enough to be semi-interesting along with the professionals. But any of the shows where, I mean, if you just look behind you, you can tell that I enjoy movies. So any of like the pop culture
stuff.
Movie stuff. Actually, there's one Star Trek related podcast from the actors who were in Star Trek. Obviously, that one would be a pretty fun one to be on. But I think like you, there's not one specific that I'm like, that's the dream. I have to be on that one. So
the other question we have is, what product do you think will be widely popular in 10 years?
What product?
Anything related to technology. AI. It's not really a product, but like a solution, a tech solution. She agrees.
Yes.
All of that.
Hi. She walked behind you and she gave me the most ornery little smirk. Should we reposition that camera on top?
Nah.
I think it's funnier. I think it's doing awesome. All right, so I don't know. I mean, it's gotta have something to do with AI, right?
Tech and AI. It's gotta be something to do with technology.
I mean, I know a lot of people are scared about AI, but I think most people are just like, oh, this is the new thing that's happening.
Yeah, it's tech, something tech related. I don't know what that would be, but it's something tech related.
You asked for a live and you got one.
She knows exactly what that medicine is to its nose spray. She knows exactly what it is.
She does. I don't know, like what problem is there that we need to solve? Nasal issues, clearly. What problem is there that needs solved?
Well, there's a lot of
like,
problems. Money problems.
Like right now. But like what's the one thing that is feasible? Because there are some problems that also create jobs, and like those aren't going to be solved anytime soon, because unless you can generate the same amount of money with the solution, you're not going to solve that problem.
That's a great question. I can't pinpoint like this is what's going to be most popular.
You don't. I don't get to edit out the silence of our answers with these
other than some type of technology product.
Some type of what technology is going to be better or be popular in the future? Yeah, technology.
Computers.
Computers. I
think computers are going to evolve other than just be computers. I think the software on the computers is going to change drastically.
I think we're going to, within the next 10 years, have something that is as close to, if not right on par with, like sci-fi holograms. Because of the way that they are doing things with lights, like I'm like talking about hologram, like you put like a device in it, like pulls up an image, it looks like it's 3D. Like they're doing things already that are so close to that. I think, and I have a shark in my hand. I mean, we're 3D printing, and we have.
So I got a product. I can think of one. Mm-hmm. It's all in the same realm. Some type of robot is going to be more than what we have now. It's going to be some sort of.
Oh yeah.
Very popular.
Like actual AI.
Actual AI.
To the point of having autonomy.
Yeah. Like it could be like a maid of your house. Like you could buy a robot to clean your house.
Yeah.
Or do certain things. There's already products out there now, but like they're not advanced enough.
Right.
Take over.
It'll be made by the same company that makes Roomba.
Probably.
And they'll call her Ramba.
Ramba.
And it won't be Ramba. It'll be some sort of like cutesy Siri name like Vicky, or that's from iRobot.
So I do appreciate the comment about the microphone placement. I've seen fishermen do this before, and I put on my hat for that reason. We do
actually have a question from YouTube, which has been on here for a while.
Wow.
Monitoring them. What is your favorite Olympic sport, and which one do you think should not be included in the Olympics? So what's your favorite? We'll start with that.
My favorite Olympic sport is swimming, only because of Michael Phelps.
Okay.
And something that should not be Olympic sport. This isn't Summer Olympics, but I feel like curling, for some reason, always gets a bad rap. But I feel like I could curl, so I feel like if I think that I'm good enough to do that sport, which I'm probably not talented enough to do that, then it should not be an Olympic sport. Although I think that everyone that does a sport is very talented in their own right.
Okay, you don't want to touch that. I actually don't know what else. It's just a light.
But if I had to pinpoint, I would say curling. And she's really into this nasal spray.
She is, which is good. That helps. It helps with sniffles. So for Summer Olympics, honestly, I used to really like watching the gymnastics. Anything to do with gymnastics. But then I saw a video of a gymnast whose legs went, and I can't
do that.
Like, some people have weird like things that makes them want to puke or faint, and that's mine for me. So I don't like that as much anymore. Actually, honestly, like, it's so simple, but I actually like watching volleyball. I watched enough of my sister's games when she was doing high school, and I like watching volleyball.
Beach volleyball and just volleyball in general.
Yeah, cool. Exactly. The synchronized swimming is cool too.
That's cool.
Which is really impressive. As far as the winter, I mean, I'm not really interested in curling. I'm not interested in shot put for the summer. I think in winter, my favorite is pretty much anything to do with skiing. I think skiing is really cool. Whether it's like it's probably not called this, but the long jump.
Yeah.
Is that what's called, the long jump, the skiing long jump?
They like flying, like
right,
birds.
That's cool. Oh, I also like watching high dives.
High dives?
High dives are really cool. I like that.
This makes me feel so bad about myself. Like, these people are so talented, and I'm like, there is no chance that I could do anything that they do.
Thank you.
And so I'm like that. It's just very impressive. Olympians are just very impressive in any type of sport that they do. It's quite impressive, and I'm kind of jealous.
Sure.
The other question we have on Facebook is that how many owls would you have to see in one day to be concerned something alarming was happening?
Who is that question
That
from?
question's from Nicole.
Okay.
And I would say that, I don't know. I'd say 3 or 4.
Yeah, I agree. If I saw, especially during the day, because those things are nocturnal.
I don't think I've, like, once or twice in my lifetime I've ever
Seen
even
an owl.
seen an owl. Other than a zoo.
They would all have to be in like one specific group. So I'd just like, oh, there's a bunch of owls. That's the only possible scenario where I'm not freaked out by more than one owl.
Yeah.
In the same, in like seeing it during the day.
And the other question from Nicole is, what reality TV show would you want to be on? And my answer easily would be NCIS.
Do you consider that a reality TV show, though?
I do.
See,
Well,
like,
okay.
That's actually.
So
I know
show,
that reality shows are
TV show
scripted,
in general,
but
NCIS. Reality TV show, maybe Survivor.
Okay. I understand that, yes, reality TV shows are scripted, but they're not like, they don't have a specific, like, okay, this is the plot of this episode. I guess they kind of do to an extent, but it's not quite the same thing. They're slightly more real than scripted. As far as real shows, like regular shows, I mean, Cobra Kai would be pretty cool.
Cobra Kai would be cool.
Amber, what do you need?
That's for YouTube, folks.
that I'm gonna wait for it to pop up here on
The
my
lag is
screen.
gonna
The
be-
lag is just gonna start. And then, as far as reality shows, I don't know. Probably something like Survivor, maybe.
I think I would do good on Survivor.
I don't know. Is there something like Survivor, but within like colder climate?
Colder climates. I like strategy reality TV
Same.
shows.
Yeah.
I feel like I
Do
think
game shows count? Like a Family Feud or something like that? Because that'd be fun.
it's kind of like reality TV. It's unscripted. It's
That's
kind
close
of
enough.
yeah.
I'm gonna say that one counts.
Family Feud would be full cool.
That would be
And
good.
someone said, I saw an owl in our driveway watching me drive by.
Well, I guess you're dead.
Their question is, one candy to ban for life.
One candy?
Mhm.
One candy.
The ban for life.
Ban.
Never.
This
have
is
it.
not a hard question, but it's just that there's so many to choose from. Because there are a lot of really bad candy out there. See, I don't...
Red Hots.
Yeah, I'm with you. Anything cinnamon.
Yep, hate it.
Like spicy cinnamon, don't care.
Or black licorice.
Licorice in general. I don't enjoy licorice.
Black licorice. Can't do it.
I would normally say candy corn. I don't like candy corn. But I like the aesthetic of candy corn in the fall. And that's the only reason it gets to stay.
So do I. Yeah, I don't like enjoy eating candy corn, but the problem with candy corn is you eat one, and it's like I have to eat 2, and then I grab a handful of them and I eat them. Yeah, but anything cinnamon related, I can't
enough.
stand cinnamon flavored candy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
One child name you wouldn't ever use.
Jonathan. I'm just kidding. Actually, in all seriousness, there's sometimes like unless you're naming your kid after somebody specifically, like you almost want to avoid names of people that you know
No.
because you know them. You already have somebody who you know that's
a
that
good
name.
question. That's a good question. I don't want to offend anybody out there that I know.
Right. But it's like the list of people that you would name your child after is a really small list.
Bartholomew.
You know. See, I could in some universe name my kid Bartholomew. Simply because it's one of the more unique names.
I don't think I could do it.
I'm not going to offend. I hope I'm not offending anybody. This is not meant to be offensive to anybody specific. Because I know some very nice people with this name. But I don't think I'd ever name my kid Ethan.
Ethan.
There's plenty of great Ethans. But just
Yeah, I know lots of
Ethan
Ethans.
Jenkins just doesn't, it just, you know. I don't know, I might have a cousin named
You're
that.
tagging Ethan DeVore right now. I can see it.
No, he's in the Cool Kids Club. He's fine.
Ethan's a terrible name. Why Ethan?
I don't know. It's just not a name that works. Ethan Jenkins. It's like there's too many E's.
You know the cool thing that I would like to see?
Then again, my name has more E's than.
So around names, I would love, and this would never happen, but I would love like everyone's spelled the same, just for the sake of like
Amen.
teachers. It's like your name is. I don't know.
And the correct way to
Steven,
spell Steven is with a PH.
and it's like EN or AN.
The V doesn't
PHEN. It's like 18 different. Like growing up, it was always Jonathan was an A or an O, or John, JOHN, and then Nathan. And so everyone spelled my name wrong. Like, and I didn't think it was that hard to spell.
Yeah.
I truthfully didn't think my name was that hard to spell. But I would say that 90% of folks that wrote my name down on paper
You ever get like with an
would
I
spell
in
it
there,
wrong.
like John Ethan? Or
Very,
something?
very rarely would there be an I. It's usually with an O, or it was usually John, and then Nathan.
Okay.
Was how they would spell it. But it was always spelled wrong.
So do you think of your name as Joe Nathan or John Athan?
John Nathan
So 2 N's, even though there's only one.
Yes.
Okay.
with a pause.
Okay.
Someone said Pepsi or Coke. Coke all the way.
Coke.
Coke.
Coca-Cola. You can't see around my room, but there's
Can't do
multiple
Pepsi.
Coca-Cola products in the room.
I said I can't do Pepsi, but I can do Pepsi. I will drink Pepsi. I grew up on Pepsi actually. My grandfather was an avid, like was it diet caffeine free Pepsi drinker, I think.
That's just all of the freeze.
But I would prefer to have Coke over Pepsi.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm rarely ever offended. Okay, that one's real. I'm rarely ever actually offended when the waitress is like, is Pepsi okay? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I'm never mad, usually. Sometimes I am like, disappointing. But I'm rarely ever actually disappointed. But if I have the option, yeah, Coke.
Coke.
It just got a better taste.
Coke is better. Next, the other question is frog or toad?
Frog or Toad?
I don't know.
Are you
Frog.
talking about like the books, Frog and Toad? Is this real?
Hang on, yeah.
It's okay. I couldn't tell if it was a real piece of lunch meat or what. Ugh, you're the reason people are still watching, Ember.
There was like 16 people on plane watching
when she's in the middle.
during the ham debacle.
That's great.
Oh, she still has it. I thought you gave it to me.
No, she did not.
I don't know. Frog.
Is it? You have to ask. We have to ask.
There's no clarification.
Okay,
It's
well,
just
let's
literally
give it a
frog or
second.
toad.
I'll answer just in general. I'm gonna go Frog, but I love toads. Is this about the books Frog and Toad? I don't know why I'm asking that because I haven't read those books in years and I can't tell you. But if it's Frog and Toad, I'm going Toad. If it's just regular animals, I'm going Frog.
Okay.
Specifically, what's your favorite frog?
Favorite type of frog?
Tree frog for me.
I would say tree frog.
Tree frog. Tree frog or bullfrog.
Or a poison dart frog.
Ooh.
The colors are pretty.
Okay.
And while we're getting clarification on the books, we have a crick or creek question, and it's crick. It's not a creek, it is crick. I grew up on the crick. It is a crick. It's not a creek.
This is where we part ways. Not a crick, it's creek.
It is crick.
It's creek. It's
Crick.
spelled Creek.
No, it's spelled C-R-I-C-K.
Well, it shouldn't be, because
Crick.
crick just sounds
Crick.
like you're trying to be different.
Crick.
And there's a whole bunch of people in this
Crick.
world trying to be different.
Grew up on the crick.
And
And
with everyone different.
And the
no one
clarification
is.
on that was no book, all of other get hit by cars.
Who's that from?
Addie.
Oh. No book, just all the other.
Here's two. Here's a good
Oh,
one. And then
my.
here's a good one and a funny one. Someone says pronounce the word Lancaster. It's definitely Lancaster.
Yeah.
Lancaster.
Yeah.
Lancaster.
It's like Lancaster or Lancaster, and I technically it's Lancaster. I guess I've said Lancaster more.
Lancaster. 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 I think I probably pronounce it differently.
It's not one of those where like you
Each
mess up the
time.
pronunciation, it sounds that much different.
Yeah, that's true. True. And then your question before that was dogs or cats? Dogs.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Do the other ones also get run over by cars?
Dogs. By far dogs.
Yeah, dogs. I like cats, but I'm also allergic, so I can't have any.
Lancaster.
Lancaster?
With a pukey face.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I have heard people say that.
Lancaster.
Isn't there an actual? Yeah, they call it. I'm going up to Lancaster.
Lancaster County.
That's not correct. There's
No.
no way that's correct.
Lancaster.
Where'd you hide that?
Lancaster. Well, I guess I do say it both ways. like I said before, like a minute ago, I feel like I say it both ways. Just
Yeah.
when I pronounce it, I don't think I've actually looked at the word and tried to pronounce it a certain way. I think I just probably say it multiple ways. The next question here was, is the ham real? And the ham was most certainly real. The ham
Their
is,
ham was real.
the ham is no longer here. The ham was real. The locals get upset in Lancaster if you say it wrong.
So they think it's Lancaster, like Lancaster.
I don't know. The other someone else commented that comment about.
So if you're from if you're from the name we can't pronounce that's spelled Lank or Caster, we can't spell it either.
And
Please tell us how you pronounce it from there.
And the original comment from the individual was their hubby is from there and says it like that.
And they say it says it like what?
I guess Lancaster.
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 Well, I mean, I have to respect your rules, I guess. I don't agree.
Lancaster. Lancaster. In random just points, I do like going up to Lancaster or Lancaster or whatever we want to pronounce it as. It's a beautiful area.
You're correct. It is.
And we were actually going to take a trip to that area for Thanksgiving, and we never made it to there. Remember?
You are correct. So for those who don't know, which you should because you follow us on social media, we have a trip that we basically do every year.
Yearly.
Where we do a Thanksgiving Eve trip, which is funny because it's only in the last 4 years that we've had it. We've only ever actually done it twice on Thanksgiving Eve.
Yep.
But we basically go out shopping, go to Costco, we do Topgolf, get some food, transport a TV on the back of our cars, and we come home. But this past year, I was down with the sniffles and decided, for the sake of all involved, including children around the holidays, that we should not, that we should go out and buy some nasal spray, that we should postpone, and then...
We were gonna go to Lancaster, or Lancaster, however you want to pronounce that.
Okay.
And we were gonna go eat at Shady Maple Smorgasbord.
Go eat a what?
Shady Maple Smorgasbord.
You said
And
that really
If you
fast.
were ever at, if you've ever been to Shady Maple before, Shady Maple is the largest buffet in the country. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. We would have had a splendid time, but Steven was sick, so
I was sick.
unfortunate to that.
I was
We
sick.
did end up doing something without Steven, but it was not as fun as with Steven, and it was not Lancaster.
Did you get Crumpy's Donuts or something?
We
or-
did get Crumpy's.
Okay.
We got Crumpy's Donuts, went to Hagerstown instead.
I mean, that's a good...
Hagerstown's
good
cool. Hagerstown's like
substitute.
a letdown compared to Lancaster or Lancaster.
We're in Hagerstown a lot for you to be saying that.
Poor Facebook folks. Next question was, how many children do we want to have each?
Not together.
That's true. How many
You're
children
correct.
do you want, Steven?
I would say 2, willing to have 3 if my spouse would want 3.
I would say 2 or 3.
How many do you want Daddy to have? Huh? How many? She's shaking her head. She's shaking her head. Oh,
She wants to be an only child. This is a good question. Buffet is a gift from heaven or just a hog trough?
I think it's both.
I think it's both.
There's a... I'm not going to say that. That might be blasphemy.
I love a good buffet. I feel disgusting afterwards, and like,
Oh, yeah.
but I love a good buffet, and I
That's
know
why
that
you
they're bad.
go.
I know they're bad for you, like if you're on a diet or counting calories. But there is something just that I have to go.
You just don't need anything for a day, and then you go and you load up on just everything.
Everything, and Shady Maple was the place to do that.
And see, me, I never ever eat as much as I think I'm going to at a buffet. I don't know about you, but I never.
Oh,
I always have like
I
multiple plates fewer than
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think.
I go in there like I'm gonna.
Like I'm be here for hours.
Yeah, and I get
and
like,
then like I'm full after 30 minutes.
they get you with the salad bar. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna get a big salad because I don't want to fill up on salad. And
Now-
I'm like, then my plate's like a huge plate of salad, and I'm like, I don't want to waste it.
Right. Now, are you like me, like in that same way? Because I have like this weird order. Like I go out, I get everything that I know I really want. so that I eat it and I can eat it when I'm like fresh and I know I'm not going to be full. And then I go back out and I get a salad. And usually after the salad, then I go get like whatever dessert that I want.
Yeah.
And then if I'm still hungry, then I'll go back and get the rest. But I want to be able to enjoy all three components of it before I'm like stuffed and feeling terrible.
That's fair. What do you think your last words will be, Steven?
What do... Who's this question from?
Cameron. She has 3 questions in a row here.
Okay. Let's see here. What do I think my last words will be?
I wish Facebook could tell you everyone that's watching other than just who kind of pops up here. Sam joined because she heard Amber.
I wish that I knew what my first words were.
That's a
Like,
good
my
question.
parents would probably know, but I don't know for sure. I don't know. Something like poetic, but also... this isn't what I actually think they'll be, but what I would like... If I
Want
can
them to be.
choose, like want them to be, because you never know what your last
You never
words are
know.
gonna be. If I could choose, it would be either something like super, like, trolly, like just to mess with people, or something like very poetic, but sort of funny at the same time.
I would say something like, I buried $1 million cash, and I just picked a random location that it was not $1 million cash, and hope the folks just...
If I was gonna choose something to
Flock
troll
there.
somebody, just to like mess with them and be like, I tell whoever's right there, like, I know what you did.
There's the cutie pie. Are you referring to Steven?
Yes, obviously.
And toilet paper, hang over or under?
Ooh.
Over, and if you hang it under, you're a psychopath.
Okay, I also hang it over if I remember. And what I mean by remember is that I just put it on the roll and just move on with life. I don't sit there and do it one way or the other, but prefer it to be over.
If you have your toilet paper hanging out under, all your hand is doing when reaching for it is touching the wall. And I don't want to touch the wall. I want to touch the paper.
And the other question was, pant size. What size pants is ideal?
For what?
I just asked the question.
Is somebody sending us pants?
This is what size pants is ideal. A 32, 34, 36.
32, 34, 36?
32, 34, or
Oh.
32, 36.
36. Okay.
Depending on the brand and the length and
Yeah, depending on the brand, like 34, 36, and then 30. 30, well, yeah. 30 is consistent.
There's also a comment here that says dad. So does your dad hang toilet paper the wrong way?
I don't know, who's the comment from?
Your mother?
My
I don't know what it's referring to.
I would not have noticed if he does, but that's a possibility.
Maybe I don't know. It could be referring to something else. I
I'm
don't
assuming.
know.
Maybe.
Yeah. There's cutie pie, and obviously they said you're the cutie pie.
Oh, Ember. They're lying to me.
Totally not you, Ember. You are not. You are not
Ooh.
cute.
Now she's giving me the stink eye.
Hey, dress it out on
What?
I had this out so I could like look at questions, but I'm on YouTube and there's only one question on
What
YouTube.
would you call a male ladybug?
A male ladybug?
That's a great question.
Huh?
That is a one.
I'm gonna go with a male ladybug. I think you
A male bug?
just a male ladybug. I think that's it. Just go
It's a
simple.
male ladybug.
Because the name is a ladybug, and then you just go, you know.
Oh, your first word was dad.
Oh.
Ooh, and you look good. You're gonna get
I was accusing my father of putting the toilet paper on wrong. My first word was dad. Okay. Then I don't know. It'd be kind of funny if I said dad as my last word, just to make it come full circle. Make it an Ouroboros.
Let's see here. It says, would you rather lick a shark or bite an eel?
Lick a shark or bite an eel. Is this an electric eel? You thinking shark?
Yeah.
You think the shark?
That means that shark.
Yeah, I'm gonna lick a shark.
Okay, here's another thing.
Because if I die with either of those two, licking a shark is gonna be the better way to go out.
Funniest thing you did as a child. I got my answer already. Stick a Walmart smiley face Band-Aid up my nose.
Sticker. Sticker.
Sticker, not Band-Aid. Sticker.
Stick a Walmart Band-Aid up your nose.
Sticker. The smiley face sticker at
Yeah,
Walmart.
stick a wall. Oh, a
Not a Band-Aid.
Walmart sticker up your nose.
Rolled it up, shoved it up there, got lost with my grandparents. I was with my grandparents at the time, and they flipped out. And ended up going to my uncle, who was a dentist, and we sucked it out of there.
I mean, I don't know. I was a weird kid. I did a lot of weird stuff. I used to just like smack my head against the headboard every night going to sleep. just cause.
Just cause.
And I
just cause.
I used to what was I gonna say? Shoot. I don't remember what else I was gonna say. We'll go with smack my head against the headboard.
Okay,
for no reason.
here's a really good question. Do you chew your ice cream?
Who is this from?
Cameron.
Okay, Cameron. Okay, do I chew your ice cream?
Yeah. I do not.
I mean, the people who put the toilet paper on under are afraid of the people who chew their ice cream.
Unless there's like fruit or chocolate chunks, then I chew.
But you're chewing the chunks. You're not chewing the ice cream.
But it's one. You don't call it. You don't. It's like if it's Rocky Road, it's Rocky Road ice cream. It's
Correct. But if somebody says, "What are you chewing on?" you wouldn't say my ice cream. You'd say a Rocky Road chunk or something like that, or like a Reese's cup or something. You wouldn't say that you're chewing on your ice cream.
Okay, fair enough. You see the question about how do you think humans found out milk can come from cows?
Ryan George on YouTube has a great sketch about that. I think they found out that milk can come from cows. There's a jokey PG-13 answer, and then there's the actual answer.
You can
What
go with
do you
either.
want? What do you want?
Go with the jokey PG-13 answer.
Well, I'm sure it was discovered multiple places. Somebody was just really weird. Okay? And that's how they found out. And then the other person saw the baby cows drinking the milk and was like, "Oh, hey, look, that's like us." And that's what happened.
That's fair. Did you know that cows have to be pregnant to produce milk?
I did know that, Jonathan. Did you know that, Addie?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Before today, I did.
Before we told you? Is cereal a soup? No, we actually answered that question on a previous episode with Donnie Ness. I think it was called, what was it called? Like hypothetical something. I don't remember. It was a couple seasons ago. Go watch it. It was a good conversation. We answered that question. I believe the general consensus was no. And no, Ember, you cannot hold my lighter. Hey, baby, that's not for you. Okay. We don't want to.
No spray and lighter.
don't wanna-
That is a combination.
Yeah. Okay. You can't remember what you were going to say because you smacked your head too much. That's my mother.
One tattoo. One word has to be
Tattooed on your hand or your mother dies. What word do you choose?
Oh boy. On my on the middle of my hand.
Middle?
Yep.
Can't it be on the back?
No.
High five.
Wait, can it be a sentence?
What's a high five?
Can it be a sentence or does that have to be one word? One word?
That's 2 words, but like high. The word high. High five.
Okay, Stephen, please high five.
High five, yeah. That was a weak high five, girl.
He's like no.
Look at her nose. I don't know. One word. Gullible.
Gullible. Gullible would be a good
Hey,
one.
it says gullible on my hand.
And I love your comment about you hitting your head so much. Worst place someone can get a tattoo of their face. No offense to anyone out there. I don't like tattoos on faces.
I mean, from an aesthetic question,
Like
yes,
forehead.
face.
Like
Face from an aesthetic. Where would I never want to have anything tattooed? It would be down lower than the face.
fair enough.
But it wouldn't look as bad at least.
That's fair. That's fair. Favorite
Steven,
sibling.
favorite sibling. I have 3. So let's see here. I mean, if we were in a tournament, like in a 3-way, I mean, Michael's winning the physical fight. So Michael, I'll go with my. I'm just kidding. Let's see here. Favorite sibling.
It'll haunt you forever.
Hmm?
This is gonna haunt you forever. Whoever you choose, whoever you don't choose.
Well, I'm trying to rank like worst first to get that one out, and then like, and then second, and then like that's like it's like by default who the best one is. I don't know. We'll come back to that later.
No, you won't.
What celebrity would you like to have on the podcast if you could have anyone?
We
answered that
this
at the beginning.
Yeah.
I said Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I just said somebody who's not necessarily a celebrity, but some sort of like extremely, like not even divisive, because divisive implies that there are a lot of people who like this person. I mean somebody who is just like universally hated, because everybody will watch if they're universally hated. Yes. Yeah.
She agrees. Favorite sibling, Steven?
Huh?
Favorite sibling?
Favorite sibling? I'm still thinking. Can I put all 3 in like least favorite category?
I mean,
I'm trying to find like a stupid way to answer the question.
why you continue to think?
Obviously, I love all my siblings equally, and I would not choose one over the other.
I would if I had siblings.
That being said, Michael would win in a fight.
One thing you learned that girls do that you had no idea about.
One thing that you learned that girls do, you had no idea about. I don't know. You have one?
I mean, I think every girl's different. I mean, like,
Of course.
I don't know. So we had this debate the other day, and this is not a. This isn't political at all. This is just a strict debate. Was that men, younger men, when they get a car, their insurance rates are higher. Because the likelihood of them getting in a crash is apparently higher because they race or do whatever. However, I personally feel that I have seen and been around more vehicle accidents as a firefighter that's dealt with women, not on pure accidents, just because they literally could not drive correctly. Which sparked my argument as to why do we make insurance rates higher for younger men, and then the answer to the question was that I feel like a lot
Sorry, I just noticed.
women,
I just noticed that the ham is just sitting there on the
a lot of
floor.
women that I knew couldn't drive. Now that's not a dig at the ladies that I know personally.
Right.
It was just a kind of observation. And what's funny about that, with the person that commented this, was that, well, she's wrecked her car.
Gotcha.
It wasn't me, to clarify.
It was not Addie.
No, it was not. So, to that point, what you just said, there was an old SNL skit
Ooh,
basically saying that women are more likely to commit or to have like minor fender benders, whereas men are more responsible for more fatal crashes, which to me makes sense. That's
That does
why,
make sense.
like, the males are going to cost more money. I don't completely agree with it for a variety of reasons, but I understand it.
Shut up! It was on ice.
4 things that girls do that I didn't know that they did.
That's just a really good question.
It is a good question because like there's like multiple things that I feel like I didn't really know until semi recently, but nothing that's like that interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I knew that they did this, but I didn't know to the extent that they did it until recently. Is how much they stalk people's like profile pictures.
100%.
Just not like I knew that they did. I knew that
100%.
Addie did like a lot, but
YouTube has more questions.
YouTube has more questions. Okay. But I didn't know that they like do it quite to the same extent, which is funny because
all girls, like, they're like detectives.
which is funny because I hear a lot of girls also saying how inappropriate it is to do that.
Exactly. If I were
But
to
they
get stuck,
do it
if
just
I were
as-
just, they're like,
just as
why are you
much.
looking at their profiles? It's like, because I'm just curious who they are. And then I get in trouble, but then
Right.
they're allowed to do it habitually.
It's not that they do it. It's the
Valid.
You know,
yeah, that is very valid.
double standard, I would say. Let's
the
just say, would you rather marry someone you don't love or someone who doesn't love you?
Oh. Would
So
you
just
rather
to,
marry-
let's just say for the sake of argument that it is assumed that just because you like if you're marrying the person that you don't love, it would be that they do love you back. Or they do love you, you just don't love them. And then vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I'd probably I wouldn't want either of these, obviously. Off the top of my head, I think I'd rather marry somebody that I don't love. I wouldn't want to. But I would feel like if I'm going to marry somebody who doesn't love me back, I would just be wasting their time then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas I don't think that it would necessarily 100% be a waste of my time if it meant raising a family. You know what I mean? But, that's not a situation that I could see. Yes.
No, I agree with you. I would rather, what'd you say, marry someone
Marry someone that you don't love.
that you
is
don't
what
love.
I would say.
Yeah, that still loves you. That's also how I would feel too.
Do you love your wife?
Do I love my wife?
That's a question for you, bud.
It was not written down. I can't answer it. I do love my wife, and I hope that she also loves me.
Yeah. Emmy, you pooped? Okay, don't tell the whole camera. Come here. Okay, come here. I'll change.
That's a very good question. We should do like a. So have you ever seen the show like
Oh, there's a new question
on Facebook or
on Facebook.
on Facebook?
On Facebook, there's a new question. Looks like there's a new question.
I seen it on Facebook.
I just see valid.
It's valid. Is it on Facebook yet?
I don't see that one yet.
No, it'll
Okay.
come eventually.
It'll come
But
eventually.
my point was being that there's a show called like updating. I don't know what it is. It's on TikTok. But they like blindfold two couples. They do a little matchmaking, then blindfold them, and they ask them questions back and forth. They take their blindfolds off, and they see each other for the first time. I think we should do something like that on the podcast.
Interesting. I don't ask the questions.
I'm not gonna be on it either, but we need to find like two single people that.
Oh
we think
wait, no wait, you two have to do it.
No, not like a married couple, like two
Oh.
like matchmaking, like two people.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
People that are single.
I got you.
That we think would be a good couple together, and we put them here and we question them. Like, what do you like? What's your
You meant a
first?
couple.
No, not a couple. Like,
The
so.
person that asked the question on YouTube is single.
I know. That's what I mean. Think about this.
I can't see that comment.
No. What about
The relationship.
relationship?
Marriage.
Like
The
the
single man.
who the marriage? Who?
Oh, I got
that
you.
one. Him.
I thought you meant that he commented that he was single.
No, but he didn't comment that he's single, but he is single. So he would be a great person to have on.
There you
Why
go.
are calling this man out?
Yeah, I was gonna say that was you, not me.
Addie calls him out on a regular basis. Actually, they call each other out on a regular basis.
That's good. I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I've heard Addie call people out before. Has your comment not come through yet, Jonathan?
There's
Somebody
not.
asked you a question.
It literally has not come through.
Somebody asked you a question.
It says, "Why don't you love your wife?"
Well, I do love my wife.
That's not what the question was.
It's not come through. I don't know why it's not come through.
That is weird. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm an admin.
Any other questions,
More
folks?
viewers are coming in.
You know, we are approaching almost an hour.
Are we really?
Yeah.
If you both had to order Addie a meal, what would you order? Chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders,
No ketchup.
barbecue sauce and ranch,
Now,
fries.
chicken nuggets. Tenders are gross.
Wait, why are they?
There's
That's
too
fine.
much crunch to juicy meat.
Yeah, it's a chicken nugget.
Okay, fair enough.
Chicken nugget.
That's not what I would have expected. I swear I've seen you order chicken tenders before.
When there's no other option.
Okay.
I would have ordered her chicken. If we had anything on the menu, I would have ordered her a sweet tea with nugget ice, then chicken nuggets, with barbecue and ranch, and then a order of French fries, an order of corn nuggets if they're available, and then a cannoli for a dessert.
He's proving that he loves his wife. Death row meal.
Seafood.
Just like a smorgasbord of seafood.
Yeah, I'd say some crab, lobster, shrimp, some fish, scallops, oysters. I love oysters.
It's a very simple answer, and it's been the same answer that I've had for years. It's a big, massive plate, or all I can eat, depending on how the night goes, of one thing. JJ's and Sons, medium buffalo wings.
Buffalo
And that's
wings.
it. Nothing else. I mean, some Mountain Dew Voltage or something to go with it. That's all I need.
JJ's
No more, no
medium
less.
buffalo wings. Are they that good?
My favorite wing.
I've
I mean,
never
it's
had
my favorite. It's my favorite meal.
Yeah.
Would you rather eat moldy berries for dinner every
Every
night?
night or die alone.
Wow.
Hold on, Adam. You lost a whole chunk.
Well, I think that
I get some berries and I'm guaranteed to not die alone. Heck yeah.
so you have to go with the context of die alone. So is it like die alone as in like no wife, no family, or is it like die alone as in
Like
like
nobody's there.
Well, just in general, like no friends. It's like I just literally live my life by
Yeah.
myself.
Berries.
There needs to be context there, but I would say that the moldy berries would be the way to
I
go.
mean, moldy berries are fine.
Emmy, pick up the ham you spit out. We're gonna have to scrub
That's
this
a-
over.
that's a-
Good
that's a
thing
question.
not messy.
Ham's not messy. There she goes eating her ham. Whole piece of it. Stepped on it.
We have 64 comments.
We have a lot of comments.
This actually was a really good live stream.
It was good. It was good. I didn't see anybody that I was expecting to see except for on YouTube and.
I will
my
say
mother.
though, if anyone that's watching or is not watching now wants to be a guest, we are gonna start filming at some point and stockpile a few episodes up for next season. So reach out to me. I have one guest that wants to be on that I know of. But if you'd like to be a guest, have a topic or no topic at all,
Cool.
We'd love to have you on, and we'd love to record this month or next month and per season. What season?
5.
5.
Five.
Wow.
Season 5.
This is a very serious question.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I cannot see it any longer.
How do you find a way to balance politics and religion in a relationship? That is great. So, I'll tell you. I don't have a right answer to that, but I would say that first you have to have I think the religion portion comes first. And that has to be like the foundational portion of the relationship, even when you're dating. Because you date for marriage, you don't date, in my mind, just to date. And so that has to be the question first. If you can mutually agree on certain aspects, then that leads to the politic question. And if you're on the same wavelength as Christianity, then most likely your political views
Or just on a spiritual level in general.
are gonna most likely align. However, that's not saying that people can have different views about religion and then different views about politics. So if you're with somebody currently and you have different thoughts on religion and different thoughts on politics, and you still want to remain together, that's very hard to find the balance. Especially, I think that within the household, there has to be a way to continue to live without that always being a topic of
And
contention.
parenting, too.
Because it's always going to be an argument if there's such a big divide. So you either have to find a way to keep it always divided into yourself, and find ways to mutually parent and live a marriage without letting that interfere. But the problem is that in today's age, everything is politic based or religion based, more so politic. And so it's always kind of finding its way to get in. You just have to find a way to keep it out. Otherwise, the relationship is not going to go anywhere. But that's a really good question, because I think there's a lot of people out there that could make a really good couple, but there's some foundational things that they don't agree on, which prevents them from being a couple. More so on the politics side. I think you really have to be aligned on religion. But if you're relying on religion and you're deferring in the politics side, then it's challenging. But I feel like that shouldn't be a hindrance to still being a couple. You just have to find a way to separate it. I know several couples actually that have differing opinions in politics that have been couples for a long time. But it's just finding a way to keep it out, because otherwise, if you let it into your daily life, it will become habitually a challenge for everything. That's a really good question.
It is, and everything. Not that I have as much experience as you do, obviously, but everything you said I would tend to agree with. But like raising a kid, like you have to know what you're going to teach your kid too, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to.
Well, I think that if you raise your kid on good religious values, then you allow them to kind of make up their mind on the politics. I think that if you're a couple that agrees religion wise, but you defer on politics, I think you raise them to the good values of that religion.
Sure, yeah.
And then allow them to kind of make their own mind up about what political side they want to be on.
Right.
Without pushing one way or the other. I think you could do that. I think it'd be a challenge, but I think you could do it in a way that you teach them the good religious values, then they can figure out what political party they want to side on later. And everything in America is sided, and that's what I think's the hardest part right now. Everything is sided, and nobody can have just an open, honest conversation with someone on the other side. It's always you're immediately wrong. But I'll be very honest. I think you can learn a lot from listening to both perspectives.
Yeah.
Because if you don't listen to both perspectives, then progress is just delayed.
Sure.
So.
Well, it feels like everything is team sports. It feels like
Agreed.
I remember watching, like, my family watched football a lot. I remember watching that, and there like being like real rivalries between teams and things like that. But it feels like everything is that now to the extreme, where it's like, if you like this one thing, even if it's not even remotely political, both political sides have to like either claim it or not claim it. And once that happens, then if you have an opinion on it, you're in a category, no in between.
Yeah, and that's what I find. I think hard, because I had a lot of friends growing up. Like, I know now politically they side differently than what I do, and that's okay. But again, that shouldn't prohibit a friendship. I think it, though, is even a little bit more challenging when it comes to a relationship.
Sure.
Because you're with them
all the time.
Whereas a friendship, you only see them occasionally.
Yeah.
But I think that you have to just find. I think the religion piece comes first. If you don't agree on that, then it's really hard. But if you do agree on that and you defer on politics, then you can make it work. You should make it work if you've been together. You just have to find a way to keep it divided outside of the home without argument, and raise children, if you have children in that case, free from that, free from your own perspective. It's hard, and I say that not having any experience in that type of situation, but that's just my perspective on how you would do that.
Or at the very least, even if you disagree, keep your kids, even if they see you disagree, keep it free from hostility, so that it doesn't like make them feel like, if I think this way, then I'm siding against mom, or if I think this way, then I'm siding against dad. So you feel like you have to choose between parents, whereas you're just choosing a side, and your parents are the same before and after you make that decision.
I agree. Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that we've never talked, and we're not going to ever get into like politic discussions. We've tried to keep it free from the channel for a long time, but I do think that raises a really good question, though, and raises a lot of good questions that are challenging to answer. So, but that was a good one. Yeah.
Any other questions before we sign off?
Someone said, "Hey, Jonathan Dayton." Someone said, "If you had to order Addie a meal," someone commented, "Hands down, Chick-fil-A for Addie's meal."
Yeah.
That would be a no-brainer.
Yep.
But no.
Yeah.
This is a really good discussion. Over an hour, which I didn't think it was going to get to over an hour, and we had almost like 70 comments, and probably half of those were questions. So.
Excellent.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you for watching. Leave us a like. We'll be back with Season 5 at some point. I want to say within the next month, but our promises on timing rarely ever pan out.
If you want to be a guest, let me know. Send me a message. We have a form out there, but we can republish it. Also, thank you for the hair clip. If you have any ideas for topics for podcasts, we would welcome them too. We could definitely do some discussions that aren't with a guest, just off the cuff with a topic. So open to those as well. So
Awesome. Thanks for joining. As always, we don't have an outro, and it'll take us a second to click off because I'm going to go over there and do that. But well, Ember, say goodbye. Wave to
Goodbye, Emmy.
Wave to the cameras.
Bye,
Wave
Emmy.
bye.
Bye, Emmy. Go, Emmy.
Okay, you're going to close. And all right, going off YouTube.